Hey there, and welcome back to Cosmic Crypto. In this video, we're going to be talking about Ravencoin RVN. Let's go. Okay, welcome back to the channel. I just got done recording 4 videos, and then I realized my mic wasn't on. So, I'm sorry to Litecoin, to Jasmy, and to Optimism, but I'm only going to do a Ravencoin video tonight. That took me like an hour to record all those videos, maybe even longer. I don't even know what time I started, but it's getting late over here, so Ravencoin it is. Lucky Ravencoin. I'm going to do a video on Ravencoin, and then I'm going to call it a night. Man, that sucks. Super epic fail. That is like very frustrating. To just sit here and record. I went through all these like details of what I thought was going to happen. I was very excited. The prices were moving, and yeah, my optimism is actually, my excitement is really waning now. Pretty upset about that. Okay, Ravencoin weekly time frame. We are doing what we've been doing. Let me get rid of this right here so we can see this a little clearer. I've been noticing a couple things in Ravencoin that I kind of wanted to point out. Number one, are we going to rocket here very soon? Yeah, I don't know. Are we going to? This is going to be really interesting. So, I mean, to me, this back here, this double bottom back here is playing out like almost identical to this double bottom right here. In a sense, like the RSI is playing out very similar, where the middle part of the W had a break above the 50 line and then it fell down below again. The middle part had a break above the 50 line and fell below again. Also had this red dot on the market cipher, trend directional here. It's not much, you know, we can't go back too much with the market cipher here, but we were down in the red over here on the RSI, just like over here on the RSI. And now we've just poked our head above the 50 again in an almost identical fashion, and almost identically to the distance between the center and the breakout point on the RSI. So like we had our high over here on this W pattern, okay? And we're very far from that high. Even at the body here, we're very far from it. Down lower over here. Just like over here, we had our high right here at the body, and when the RSI broke back above the 50, we're a lot lower. But what happened after that was we had this little red candle here on the weekly time frame. Well, we've got 3 days, 18 hours to go. Are we going to have a little red candle here, just like we were already creating right now? We're forming a little red candle right here. And then right after that little red candle, I mean, you can see we had that candle right there. We just went to the moon. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but this is, I just saw this and it just fascinates me that this is playing out the same way. So from the red candle, let's say, to the top, you know, 1,600% in 28 days. So are we going to do 1,600% by the end of the month? Because 28 days, how many days are in February this year? 20, oh man, 28 days from now. Can we do that? 1,600%? Where would that put us from our little red candle here? 1,600% in the 28 days. I'm like all over the place here. That puts us right at my first price target, which is around 50 cents. That's my first price target. My final price target is around $1.25-ish. But 50 cents is my first price target. Are we going to see the same exact move that we saw play out for Jasmy? The RSI is lining up perfectly for that. The price action's lining up perfectly for that. I mean, we're just a little bit above where we were. We're like, we danced on top of this previous price action over here before we had the breakout. Was where our lows came in. And also it's lining up perfectly with this triangle for a breakout time. We don't have to break out where I got my line here. We could break out at any point. That's just where an estimate of where that could be. So anyway, weekly time frame, that's really interesting to me. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Be really cool if it did. I got a long position open on Ravencoin after the move to, yesterday, or today, excuse me, to the daily time frame. We're getting rejected off this 200 EMA. So we're hitting it. We had a little fake out, then a drop. I was saying that we were going to go sideways. Now, I took my line off in my last video because I thought I was done with it. I took the line off for the FOMC meeting. I had a green vertical line. But I said that we're probably going to go sideways until that line, which was the meeting, which was today. And that's exactly what happened. We went sideways until the meeting, and now we're still getting rejected off this 200 EMA. I'd really like to see us get above it and close this weekly or this daily candle. We've got 17 hours to go to close this daily candle above the 200 EMA. I would really like to see that. Now, I'm also curious. So we've got a green dot showing on the daily here. Let me go back to that previous price action over here. It's going to be hard to pinpoint where that is, I guess. So we were, and again, at that point, we were dancing around the 200 EMA. So that's really interesting. Of course, we were above it multiple times back here. So we'll just have to wait and see. But right around that 200 EMA, once we finally found the perfect support on that 200 EMA on the daily, that's when we started to get those big moves. So that's really interesting too. Let's go back over here to our 200 EMA. And then today on Twitter, let me go down to the 4 hour. On Twitter, I was pointing out that we were in this falling wedge here. Now, we haven't quite reached the price target yet. The price targets are on the 0307 area. So that's still a possibility for us to get up there. And if we do, that gets us above the 200 EMA on the daily. So that'd be something I'd really want to see happen. Also, we've got plenty of room to run on the RSI here and the the Market Cipher B trend directional has got plenty of room to run. I believe we formed a divergence on the directional. Yeah, that line right there says that we did. And we had a divergence on the price too, I think I pointed out. Is I looking at this chart? I swear I saw a divergence on, maybe it was a different chart. No, right here on the 2 hour. So we had lower prices and then higher RSI over here. So we did have that divergence, which then made me believe that we were going to break to the upside. And that's when I put my long position in right at this orange line here, caught that break to the upside. It is curling back down. I'd really like to see this thing go a little bit higher. We didn't even reach the green here, so that I'd like to see it, the RSI at least get up there, but we'll just have to wait and see. One thing I did notice, let me go to the 12 hour here, because I noticed something. I'm going to get rid of these white lines here. I am recording on the microphone. Yes, I am. Okay, because if I have to record again, I'm not going to do it. So I did notice something really interesting that is a little bit concerning to me. For the current price. And so right over here, let me get my paintbrush. This area right here is concerning to me because we're doing something very similar right now as we did right over here. As you can see, we had a move to the upside, then we came back down. Okay. Well, we had a move to the upside, came back down. Okay. Then we had a nice impulse to the upside. Okay, we had an impulse to the upside, and we formed this W pattern, which I'm not like a huge harmonics pattern guy, but is that a bat pattern that we're forming, or it's some kind? I feel like this was some kind of a harmonic pattern, and I'm not really big on harmonic patterns. I studied it for a little bit, and for some reason I just cannot retain the knowledge of this. But anyway. I feel like it is, and either way, we're doing the same thing here, where we're forming this like W pattern right here. And what happened after that is we had this big fall to retest this orange line right here. Well, in our case, currently, that would actually look something like a big fall to retest the pink line right here, because it would retest this previous high right over here, which is what we did over here. So we came down, here was the previous high. We came down to retest the previous high. And so is this going to play out the same way? And if it does, it's good and bad. So the bad news is we're going to have a fall. We're going to have a drop here. So this is something we really need to pay attention to the rest of this week and beginning of next week. Are we going to get a big fall here to retest this previous high over here, which would also line up nicely with the 200 EMA on the 12-hour? Is that what we're going to do? Something like this? But if it is, and we do something like that, are we going to see a... oh, and actually also the RSI is lining up the same way too. So we've got, you know, falling lower highs on the RSI, lower highs on the RSI were coming in here. And then we finally broke down, like almost right where we're at. Like within the next couple of days, we'll find this out. Based off of this, as you can see, we had we had the lower highs, then we hit the 50 line. Okay, so we've hit the 50 line. Sorry, you might have to zoom in on your screen. It's hard for me to point these out because they're so far apart. So we hit the 50 line. We had the bounce up. Okay, we're having the bounce up right now, and then the next move would be to go sideways a little bit and then have a crash down. So are we going to do that again, go sideways a little bit and then have a crash down? Also, another thing that's similar is this green dot and small wave on the market cipher. Right over here, we had a green dot and a small wave on the market cipher. Very similar things happening on the 12-hour time frame that could lead us to a breakdown in price and a fall back down to the 0.25 area. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. This is just something that I saw that was a little concerning for me, especially because I'm in a long position right now. But it is something that can happen. So if I start seeing a lot of similarities happening here, I might have to close my long or something like that. But anyway, pay attention to that. Maybe it doesn't play out. Maybe we just do, you know, get that big rocket to the upside. I'm not sure. But something to pay attention to. Other than that, you know, we had a nice move yesterday, or today, I guess, according to the FOMC meeting area. So it was a good meeting. I think I talked about it in the video that I didn't have a voice on. The FOMC meeting was great. We had the, you know, 25 basis point, and then they were talking that things were going well, and they might reconsider in the future. Is what it sounded like. If inflation continues to drop, they might even reconsider raising the rates again. They're not going to cut the rates, and they're still on schedule to do they got another 50 basis points for the rest of the year that they're planning on raising. But they did say if the inflation does drop enough, they might reconsider their raises in the future for this year. Anyway, Ravencoin's looking very good. I am a little concerned about what I just pointed out, but I'm also very excited about what I talked about earlier in this video on the weekly time frame, that we could be coming up on a massive move for Ravencoin. So cross your fingers for that one, especially if you're holding some Ravencoin. I did put out a poll on Twitter to see, do you guys want me to do a how much Ravencoin do you need to be a millionaire? I just did a Jasmine one on that and had some good feedback on that. If you do and you'd like me to do something like that, leave a comment down below. Let me know and like this video. And yeah, maybe I'll put something out like that before we get the big 1600% move that might be coming in. We'll see. So yeah, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.